Well, greetings LEGO enjoyers, and last time on the LEGO Williams FW14B Let's Build series, I had a really hard and long time trying to get one of the pieces situated. Yeah. So, let's move on to part numero 2, where we build more of the car. Let's go look for bag number 2. Sometimes it's not that easy. Bag number 4. Bag number 7. Holy crap, there's a lot of bags. Try to look for bag number 2. Bag number 2. There it is. Bag number 2. Alrighty, let's go. Let's get moving. Yeah, in case you're wondering about the censored, well, the other censored sponsorship, that's the Canadian beer company Labatt's, not Rothman's. Well, Labatt Blue. Yeah. Canadian beer. It's the best, isn't it? Yeah. Molson's the most popular Canadian beer because they sponsored racists. Well, they used to sponsor races, and they're even featured in Canadian Bacon. Yes, that is a movie. That is a real movie that actually exists. And no, I'm not making that up. Yeah, it sounds like the movie that you would make up, but no, it actually exists. Oh man, Canadian Bacon. It's gotta be one of the silliest sounding titles ever, but it is a movie that does feature John Candy. Alrighty, let's get the bag open and let's roll. Okay. Need 2 of these. Got it. Fits under there like a glove. Alright. Let's see. Where is it? There it is. Just gonna make sure we get that piece under there. Alright. Here we go. This piece goes there. Yeah, there's a lot of Technic pieces out there. That piece goes there. Alrighty. Yeah, and slots in between there. Just gotta get in there. Sometimes hard to slot it in. Especially with the freaking other pieces moving around so much. Stop moving around. There. Alright. Next step. We can't forget about these pieces, these smaller, tiny pieces that just have to be situated there. Slip, slide it in, slide it in, slide it in. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we got more of the, well, that's not actually the hydraulic pump, that's the active suspension system, which is represented by a gold piece. Yeah, at least part of the active suspension system is represented by a gold piece. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna find the black piece. There. Yeah, it's color black. It's not meant to sound racist or anything, it's just a piece that's colored black. Yeah. Painted black. Yeah. It's a Rolling Stones song, by the way. Yeah, there's a other piece. Yeah, and good lord, there's more of these pieces to put on. They're always the smallest pieces of the lot. Yeah, it's crazy that these pieces are supposed to go there. I think I might have had some pieces flipped upside down. Yeah, I didn't notice that in the previous part, but oh well. You really gotta wrench it out. Yeah, you need the strength of 10 Hulks just to get the piece in the right way. Yeah, I noticed that I still had some footage left over that I forgot to delete. Yeah. So, I ran out of space in my camera. To store more, well, clips. Yeah, so we gotta get the suspension pieces situated the right way. Pull it out. Yeah. You might be wondering why not just flip it. Well, that's actually an issue, considering that this piece is designed so specifically that you can't actually do that. You can't actually flip it the other way. Come on. Just get in there, man. It wiggles around. There. Now we got the piece situated in the right way. The intended way that it's supposed to be built. And now we can carefully put the active suspension bit in the ball jointed socket. And there you go. Yeah. Same thing for the other piece. Yeah, it doesn't actually tell you that you have to have the ball joint sockets upside down or situated in a certain way. So you kind of have to guess where it is. Yeah, I had them improperly placed, so it was a mistake on my part. Sorry about that. It's not an epic fail, it's just a minor hiccup. Shouldn't take long anyways. Alright, we got the piece situated like that. There you go. Active suspension. Man, this car was amazing back then, it still is. It was a marvel of engineering. Yeah. Active suspension. Yeah, semi-automatic gearbox and traction control. Yeah, Formula 1 had traction control in the 2000s as well, but was banned because Formula 1's all about driver skill and not using driver aids. Yeah, it all relies on the skill of the driver. Yeah, Labatt. Man, it's crazy that a British person would actually want to be sponsored by a Canadian beer company. But Canada is a Commonwealth nation. Or was. Yeah, that's why they use Spitfires and all British Royal Air Force planes of World War II because they're part of the Commonwealth. Anyways, build that. And that piece goes loops there. Piece goes on top. Piece goes on top. Yeah. They both go on top. There we go. Yeah. It's amazing that a cigarette company would want to make a mascot. An anthropomorphic talking camel. Yeah, Joe Camel. Remember him? He's the guy that tried to get kids to buy cigarettes. As part of the active suspension system. And we got a problem. Yeah, you have to situate it right there, because it's very specific on where it has to be placed. Yeah. This is one heck of a system. Yeah. Probably took a long time for the crew to set up and prepare the car itself. Williams. Yeah, it was a black. It was a black speck on there that I had to blow off. Yeah, every bit of detail is captured well here. It adds to the charm of this set. Active suspension. Can you believe that Williams even used active suspension in one of their F1 cars? Yeah, these pieces are a pain because trying to get them situated in the right way is a challenge. Come on. Yeah. That's the hardest thing about it, is trying to fold up a road map and figuring out how to fold it back up properly. It's unpredictable. Yeah, the trajectory of the pieces is say a Williams FW14B. Every piece, every bit of details, like I said, every bit of details replicate well here. We got another suspension bit. Alright, so we gotta try to follow the instructions properly. Because last time I messed up big time. And had to wrench out a piece just to get two of the other pieces in there. Alrighty, so this time the ball joints, its sockets are supposed to be situated the other way. Because this is another component of the suspension. Whoops. Wrong way, I gotta focus. Alright, so we got another piece to put in. Right. Find it. There, focus. Very good. Oh my good God. Yeah. Getting them in there is real difficult. Real difficult. Real tight fit. Okay, come on. There we go. No additional pieces this time. But we got black pins. More black pins to put in. Yeah. Pins are always a common thing in LEGO sets, especially Bionicle sets. A lot of Bionicle sets have red and blue pins. The pins are meant to be pieces for the sockets. Okay, here we go. Yeah, and without any issue and hiccups, we're gonna get it in there. Come on. Just get in there, man. It's only 2 pieces of plastic. There. Yeah, and that's the whole suspension kit. Here we go. Alright, so got 2 of these. It's a really nice car, by the way. Yeah. We got another piece within a piece. Yeah, these pieces within a piece. Is needed for certain other details, like the actuator or some other tidbits. There we go. Yeah, it looks like a Duplo brick. Well, it kind of looks like a Duplo brick. Yeah, and there we go. I don't mean that as an insult. It's just the colors are very similar to that of Duplo. Yeah, it doesn't actually show you that you're supposed to put in the second piece, but you are. There. Okay. We got one of the components. Yeah, I believe this is part of the hydraulic pump. Whoops. piece for the other side. It's the flip side of the coin. Yeah, it's part of the assembly though. This is a very involved piece. Yeah, and we got more pieces. Yay! Alrighty. But this build is still pretty cool though. And on to the next step. Doesn't matter how you situate the circle pieces, because they always look the same no matter where you put them. Which makes things easier. A lot easier than the other smaller pieces where you have to situate them. Anyways, we should be almost done. For now. Because this is a multi-part series. We got a gray sticker piece. Seriously, like this could have been printed on. I don't know why it couldn't have been printed on. Considering how small it is. But there you go, we got that piece stickered on. And this piece goes there. This piece goes there. Yeah, you get the idea. Very fun. It's a fun-filled set. And we get to assemble the seat. Yeah, it's just a another piece that was in there. Alright. Go back. Yeah, that other piece is basically the same as the other one. Yeah, sometimes the instructions confuse you. Yeah, it's part of the car. Sub belts. Yeah, so I do like the details here. Yeah. This was before the Hans device became commonplace in racing. So no Hans device here. You get a Lego icon set based off of one of Dale Sr.'s cars. Because that would be really cool. Well, have it based on his 1998 Daytona 500 winning car. Because it was his first and only Daytona 500 win, and that win always eluded him. Yeah, Dale Sr. was a NASCAR icon. He is a NASCAR legend. Unfortunate that he got killed in that 2001 accident. Yeah, we all know about the 2001 Daytona 500 and the tragedy that struck. There we go. That is the suit. Yeah, saw belt safety restraints. Of course, you need those in racing for safety, just like the Hans device, which would later come. Yeah, so far so good. So what? We're doing pretty well. Yeah, tune in to see what goes on in part 2, part 3, because, well, this series has been going well so far, aside from some hiccups. But I feel that we're going in the right direction now. So tune in to part 3 to see what happens next. But for now, it's time to sign off. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, just in case you haven't already done so. Okay, so try to bookmark the page. There we go. Yeah, as I said before, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case I haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out.